Hello there and welcome to another live chapter reading for Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Today I shall be reading from The History of the Universe as My Soul and I Remember by Stuart Ledwith. Forward. My first association with Stuart Ledwith occurred in the late 1990s, well after the chronology of events described in this book transpired. A close relative of mine put me in touch with him after I had fallen on black ice and injured my neck. While Dr. Stu graciously agreed to see me, I still approached his office door with some incredulity, not fully understanding the knowledge and skills commonly ascribed to a healer. He spent close to 30 minutes patiently asking me a diverse assortment of questions, none of which seemed to have anything to do with my injury. Following which, he spent perhaps 15 minutes placing his hands on my neck, shoulders, and upper back. I departed from his office that evening feeling pain-free. Nearly 16 years passed before I contacted Stu again, and I feel we have become true friends in the ensuing 4 years. During our interactions, Stuart has taught me much more about his unique and inspirational talents as a writer, artist, mystic, registered nurse, counsellor, and healer. I am honoured he considers me to be his friend. When he invited me to write the foreword for his newest book, my first inclination was to decline, mainly because I felt my scholarly background in the fields of science, technology, society, gender studies, and educational leadership were not well aligned to his theosophical writings about the formation of the universe, creation of humanity, and the nature of the soul. After reading the first draft of his manuscript for The History of the Universe as My Soul and I Remember, I changed my mind. Dr. Stuart Ledwith has written this heartfelt book for all of us who have ever stared up at the expansive, star-filled night sky and pondered such questions as, why am I here? What is my small purpose in this short life? How did the universe begin? Is there a supreme authority or greater power looking out for us somewhere? Like the author, I was raised Catholic and continue to practice many, but not all, of its teachings to this day. Correspondingly, I spent many years studying scientific discoveries and technological innovations and the impacts they have on our social institutions. So I especially respect and enjoy the way Dr. Ledwith in Chapter 4 states the following: evolution is not the opposite of creation, it is a necessary byproduct. It is an energy not in opposition to explosive energy of creating. It has a calming and meshing effect on all. It is under this influence man can grow, develop and evolve. His environment becomes less violent and more livable. Throughout these forthcoming pages, Stuart skillfully interweaves his own recent life experiences with the spiritual teachings and discoveries he has made through his intensely personal communications with the souls of others. I see this as a marked change in comparison to his previous two publications, titled John the Baptist as His Soul Remembers and The Abduction of Sarah Tarbell as Her Soul Remembers. That said, two central themes in each of these earlier published works are the significance of the female feminine spirit and the critical importance of unconditional love across all of humanity. Dr. Ledwith continues to define and expand these themes for us in The History of the Universe, and further describes how they have personal meaning for Soul Stuart's mission in this life. To wit, in Chapter 1, Stuart simply states this: I often wondered why the desire to be with or near women was so strong. Later in life I would find out. And in Chapter 3 he pens the following: love is indeed the glue of creation and is an enmeshing vehicle of the soul-body integration. Perfectionism, as is perceived by most, for many people is a fault because it is not enmeshed with love, but with struggle to atone for guilt. Finally, in one of his closing chapters, Dr. Ledwith leaves us with this resounding phrase: in this universe, the main energy or lesson to be learned is unconditional love. As I perused the history of the universe, I assembled my inferences regarding Dr. Stuart Ledwith's insightful discourse across three topics: religion, faith, and spirituality. For me, and quite simply, the term religion refers to official teachings and expected prescribed actions. Faith defines how individual followers of said religion interpret or make meaning of these ideas. And spirituality, while deeply personal, is exemplified in the individual's daily interactions with others as he or she lives life with a purpose. This book compels readers, regardless of their religious orientation, to re-examine their own deeply held perceptions regarding these topics, alongside the intentionality with which they demonstrate unconditional love for others, Respectfully, Linda Ray Market. Someday, after we have mastered the winds, the waves, the tides and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. Then for the second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Introduction. The purpose of this book is to inform and enlighten humans about their place in the universe, their souls and their God. In particular, I will more fully introduce the dynamic and powerful soul Edouard, about whom I have previously written in John the Baptist as his soul remembers. I will include the prophecy made possible through his sharing of personal lessons, thoughts, triumphs and failures while engaged in this earthly manifestation. Included shall be his theogonic account or genealogy of family and his in-depth theosophy, defined as any number of philosophies maintaining a knowledge of God may have been achieved through spiritual ecstasy, direct intuition, and special individual relations. It shall answer many questions which have gone unanswered for many millennia. His story is the living history of the living, God upon whom followers of the world's major religions called daily. Mankind may now enjoy reading this account, relax in its truth and formulate ideals for a new future. One may now see God as the greater loving soulful Father who was and is, watch him grow through trial and errors never before known to man. One may better understand his role in the everyday happenings in the universe, his thoughts and feelings. Secondarily, one may follow my personal learning process as I begin to grasp the theosophy, grapple with the teachings of religion, especially my own Roman Catholic, and my development of mystical interests in my life, in marriage, at work and at play. The intrigue of interplay between my body and soul became an art form. Everywhere and in everyone we found soul likenesses and differences, soul ideation, soul creation and soul energy. Becoming one, celebrating life together was a lifelong goal, filled to the brim and spilling over into many others' lives, much to the greater glory of creation itself. To the extent he can, Edouard brings to life the creation event in all its fullness of expression, the players in the event and the process of creating. Following is the animus, the process of enlivenment, giving life to the creation, while not necessarily giving a soul to every living plant or animal. It describes the origins of the House of Phoenix, the house of caretakers heretofore known to mankind as God. Throughout history, the Lord God has sent to mankind many messengers and teachers. Edouard has made many such visits as prophet, teacher, soldier, priest, and husband to teach mankind about God, love, dimensional destiny, and the like. Every prophet from every religion has delivered the message given to him by God. Mankind understood a tiny bit more about his God from each prophetic message. It may be noted, not all prophets mentioned will have been from a major religion. Some had nothing to do with religion as we understand it. In the many instances when Edouard has come here to serve his beloved God, he has never made himself known. He gives permission now for such, since he is no longer here in body, a departure of such great difficulty for both himself and me. Both of us have survived and our mission shall be completed. In the chapters to come, one may learn of my personal struggle with dogma, my soul's desire for communications with me and God, his Father, under the most trying of circumstances. The chapters will be complete with soul-shattering limitations and Lord God's most eloquent involvement in my life and the life of my indwelling soul, Edouard. This act of living prophecy has taken years to accomplish, much expended energy and many sleepless nights. Hopefully these chapters will help one understand the theocratic nature, meaning a system of government in which priests rule in the name of God. Of the heavens as Edouard guides readers through the past into the present and then into the future probabilities and possibilities for the House of Phoenix, souls and humankind. One may learn the power of the universe is based deeply in love, defined as treating the other appropriately, and translated into only one command: love first in all things. Balance is the essence of the universe, the greater soul of the universe. Where one thing is difficult, its opposite will be easy. Where heavy, then light. Where good, then evil, and so on. The creators live for, strive for balance. Once understood more fully, one can see the echoes of the creators everywhere one cares to look. Humankind has been recording evidence for such since the capability of making cave drawings of language and writing skills evolved. For you, the reader, Edouard and I will make as many practical comparisons as we can to give context and contrast to the events he describes, for and in line with the known historical record. Where it fits, who did it, said it, how it was possible. We will use the works of many scholars, teachers, doctors of letters where needed. We will conclude with many meanings for the man on the street. The offerings contained within the body of work will be translated to the practical, the sensible, and given a quality of timelessness. This is not an effort to change the lives of men, merely an attempt to educate, inform, and enlighten the hearts, minds, and bodies of mankind. It is intended as a new beginning, intended to ignite further study and dialogue among those who attempt to interpret the present scriptures and analyse their meanings. Perhaps now a different approach may be taken, which leads to greater understanding in theology and in-depth theosophy. Thank you for listening to this chapter reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're interested in it, please go find the book to learn more. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.